Hey everyone, Kane here, and welcome to another video of Art of Conquest. In this one, we will cover one of the topics from the previous video and talk about alts. Now, can you get any advantages by using some alts? Are there some things that you might not be able to get or do without them? The first one is, of course, resources, and probably that is the main one. The thing about this is the game does not really have a very good way of storing your resources. On my own account, if you go to research above 70, one research costs like 5 million wood, right? And my account can only hold like 10 million resources at the usual time, maybe less. That's because I'm kind of hitting it every maybe 12, 15 hours, whatever. And the thing about that is it kind of dries out of resources even if I am hitting other people. So if I would want to use like 100 days of rush, I would have no resources for that research. So the main reason of an alt is pretty much resource storage right now for many PvP realms and stuff like that, because there is just no other way that you would be able to get any resources to even upgrade anything. That is kind of awful, but I mean, many games have it. Rise of Kingdoms have it. Other like, say, Call of Dragons, their new game have it. Even other war games, right? People make like 2 to 3 alt accounts just for resources. So keep that in mind. Aside from that, not only that, you can actually farm resources. So I have Covenant, I have gear as well, set up to the point that it would increase my resource acquisition by 2 to 4 times. So for example, we picked the lumber, and sorry guys, I also have like 3 clients online, so it's a tiny bit laggy, but I got 21,000 lumber from just one thing. That doesn't seem like a lot, but when you check that majority of these are 8.3 thousand, 10.3, and we're not even talking about the rare resources, it kind of gets more than doubled from what we are able to gain. And I can still increase it a tiny bit further. Aside from that, the rare resources, for example, we have these ones, right? You would get 125, 100. Each one of these mines will be giving me 400 of the rare resources. So every 2 days, if I clear the entire map on auto, because this alt has auto from a very long time ago in terms of the lifetime patron, I could get about 20 to 30,000 rare resources just because I have set up all of the equipment in terms of Covenant, in terms of the gears, with resource percentages or acquisitions from dungeons, acquisitions from caravans, and stuff like that. So, gears. Pretty much every single unit has increases gold, elixir from dungeons, has lumber, mithril, whatever, whatever. And the Covenant, I even have it on entire army as well. However, the Covenant only really has the rare resource one. I kind of would want it to have like gold, lumber, and elixir, because that is a resource that literally every single person kind of requires, but they don't. But I mean, at the very least, we can just use this salt to gain rare resources and use them for something like a power prize fight event eventually. So that is the first thing, it's resources. The second thing is probably very important for free players, and that is Airship in terms of the intelligence room. Now, a regular person with maxed out researches and stuff like that can only craft 3 maps or 4 maps per week, but 4 maps you require extreme luck to never have the same ones or never max out on like the 10 maps or whatever. But usually people can only craft 2 to 3 maps just by themselves because usually you don't get all 7 different maps. But if you use an alt, you are able to max this out pretty easily because the alt also farms it. You don't need to even research the alt, and he just grants you like 20, 30 maps per week or something just for free. The thing is, many people don't require to use that if they're like popular in the realm, if they help people, if they're leaders, ministers, all that kind of stuff. Because people run into these things that they max out the maps and they want to get rid of one of the maps. So what they do is they just send it to the leader, a minister, a friend for free without any trading whatsoever. So for example, myself, if I was in my main guild, I wouldn't even need to use an alt for this. I would just max it out just as it is. So yeah, that is a thing people can do, and you get 5 days of technology rush. You get like 1,000 of these coins. You're able to even have a chance to get these ones on your main, and you kind of require them because upgrading the say specific pets like roaster, like glinting, maybe even the new pets that will eventually come out, will actually be pretty good. Keep that in mind. The other thing is events. Now, you can also use alt for events. And the events being in terms of, say, City Clash or Honor stuff. Now, by the way, I have already used this code, guys. You're not going to be able to activate it. Just FYI. So, aside, or rather, events like City Clash or Honor War, pretty much I am only able to even rank top 10 just because I have a couple of alts and we just capture cities and destroy like pretty much most of the map. Because for example, the top 3 in here, they all have alts in terms of other accounts. For example, this guy I heard even have 9, but he didn't participate. Many people in other realms have like 2, 3, 4, 5, and they do the exact same thing. Aside from that, there is another thing that people can do, and that is actually capture cities. Because if you're kind of part of a war, or you want to attack somebody and you will be attacked back. So the thing about that is you can capture a city, repair with say your main account, and then hit the enemy a few times and or until they clear you back to capital. So that alt is capturing, you send it back to capital, like for example, this one I attack, I send it back to capital. There are no revenges, there are no replays that another person can take because I also use a whole different guild. And there is pretty much nobody in this guild as well. And I kind of locked it, so nobody would be able to get any of the revengelings. So yeah, that is the sort of thing. I mean, does it give advantages? Yes. Should people use it? Honestly, I would kind of say yes. At the very least, you should have some bank alts or resource accounts or storages, whichever way you call it, in every group in the game. Small, big, doesn't matter. Even if you're a solo player, you require to have a storage of resources. Otherwise, if you even face the tiniest bit of PvP, that your gameplay will not suffer. And by suffer, I mean really suffer. Because some people just get a very quick awakening what happens in the war when they lose like 75% of their resources in a couple of days. So for that not to happen, you might want to start using a storage account and of course storing them there. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, there is not really that much else that I can tell about alts. Pretty much it's storage, airship, intelligence, it's events, as well as helping you capture cities to attack other people. I think I covered most of them. I don't really think there are others. I mean, there are ways where you can get, say, the honor as well with alts like Summoners and Cleo. There are, uh, yeah, I do believe that. So, I mean, there are a couple of other things, but it pretty much boils down to the same thing as in terms of events, that you can use them to actually boost your main account. The sole purpose of the alt is just to benefit your main account to perform better. Literally every single game has it. Uh, almost every war game that requires resources or has events that could essentially have any sort of benefit from using them, everybody has it. Some people have two, three, four, five. I've even asked people in Rise of Kingdoms, some people have 10 alts for resources. So that is insane. Now, it doesn't mean that you should necessarily just waste hours and hours of actually acquiring them. The thing is, some people are going to quit the game. Now, if they're your friends, you can just ask them if they are able to give you the account and you just play it loosely, or you just use it for resources and stuff like that if the person just quits permanently. And that is how usually you acquire an alt, which has, say, higher VIP, perhaps has lifetime patron, and can actually farm on auto questing and stuff like that. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Hopefully you learned something new. If you did, do hit that subscribe button. It would help me out a lot. As well as if you would wish to support me more than just watching my videos, I have made a Patreon page where you would be able to do just that. In return, I would be able to help you out more individually in terms of events, PvP formations, and stuff like that. As well as I would like to thank all of my patrons for the support. I really, really appreciate it for your subscriptions. Thank you guys so much. Thanks for watching. Take care and stay safe out there.